Hey guys, and welcome back to SmokeScreen, and we're going to do something we hadn't done in a long time on this channel, and that is an actual movie review. This is actually where the channel started about 3.5 years ago. But after all, this is an entertainment channel, not just a Game of Thrones channel, and I went and saw the movie Predator, or The Predator, and I've always loved the Predator franchise with Alien in the same universe, all that good stuff, and I wanted to immediately do a review on this, although it's more likely going to be a rant. Alright, so let's jump right in, and this will be a spoiler review because you cannot do an actual review without spoilers. And if you're new here, I do have a lot of Game of Thrones content here. That's mainly what I do, so go watch some of that if you would like to get ready for Game of Thrones Season 8, which should be coming in April. Now anyway, let's jump right in. Now, The Predator was directed by Shane Black, and I had high hopes for this film because if you don't know, Shane Black also did movies like Iron Man 3, but he also has a special connection to The Predator because he was in the original film Predator where he played Hawkins.
Please!
So let's start off with a few of the things that I did enjoy about the movie. You know, it's pretty good as far as an action movie. It's kind of an over-the-top action movie, and that's really all it is. As far as the Predator storyline, which we'll get into in a few minutes, it really takes away from the whole franchise. But if you do like over-the-top action, where it jumps straight into the action and never really stops, then this is a decent movie in that regard. It has some funny moments. I thought the cast was really well, kind of a motley crew working together. You had Olivia Munn, you had Keegan-Michael, you had Theon Greyjoy, who became a magician. So you had a good little cast here, and I thought they worked well together. It was more of a comedic action film in that regard, so I thought that worked well. And on a serious note, I am glad to see that Alfie Allen, who plays Theon Greyjoy on Game of Thrones, has started to break into some other films as well, because he's a really good actor. So yeah, overall, the cast was really good, and there's some pretty damn funny moments as well between them, because they all play kind of like crazy ex-military badasses, so I thought they worked well together. Another really good thing about the movie was the visual effects. Now, the visual effects are outstanding. Of course, back in 1987, damn, I'm old. When the original Predator came out, that was great visual effects, I thought, for 1987, but they really couldn't do anything compared to today's visual effects. So if you like good visual effects in movies, this is a good movie in that regard. The Predators look really good. And speaking of visuals, if you like gore, you're going to like the gore in this movie. It had its fair amount of gore. You had some pretty good Predator kills as usual, like in any Predator movie. So if you kind of like gory action comedy, this may be the movie for you. However, to get into the cons of the movie and more of the rant side of this video, if you like a good story, this is not really going to move you. So the biggest problem I had with the movie is they took what we found out about the Predators in the first movie, the second movie, even AVP, Alien vs. Predator. Although I know a lot of people didn't really enjoy those, I thought they were okay. But I love the first and second Predator movies. We learned that they were an established race of hunters who travel throughout the galaxy looking for the best prey. We learned that they do it for trophies. They take the skulls and spinal cords out, of course, like we saw in the original films. They wear little skulls around their necks from other things they've killed. So we know they are established sport hunters, and they do it for the trophies alone. But this movie took that and flipped it on its damn head, and now the Predators are assholes again. Let me explain exactly what I mean by that. When we saw the original Predator and Predator 2, of course, we learned that they would not kill someone who was not a threat. We also learned in AVP, for example, they wouldn't kill anybody that was sick. Of course, they scanned their skulls for the perfect trophy. And of course, in Predator 2, when Danny Glover boards their ship, he actually sees a fucking trophy case of skulls on the ship, including the alien skull, which would later on, of course, lead to AVP. But that was to establish that they were hunters, they were trophy hunters and sport hunters, but now they've changed that, so they don't take out the skulls and spines anymore for the hunt and for the trophy. They take it out to get DNA. Yes, that's right. They inject themselves with other species' DNA to better themselves, which is fine if that was just kind of a side thing they do, but it takes away from the whole idea of what they are, and now they have a bigger agenda, and of course it got a little bit political. So it turns out you had this regular Predator who ended up being kind of the good guy, so to speak, as far as the Predators, and again, that does go back to what we learned in previous movies, there were actually not necessarily just evil creatures. They did respect other races and species and warriors, etc., and they established that. But now they have this bigger agenda, and what I mean by that is the main predator, the small regular predator now, since we have multiple kinds of predators, and then you have now in this new movie the super predator. So you had this regular predator running from the super predator, and we didn't know why for a while, but the super predator was hunting the main predator. Well, it turns out that the predators now inject DNA into themselves from all kinds of species around the galaxy to better themselves, to make themselves more advanced and better hunters, I suppose. But the only reason they came to Earth for this particular story was so the regular predator could offer humanity a gift to save the human race. Because instead of just being sport hunters now, the predator species are apparently trying to adapt themselves because global warming is going to destroy the planet and they want to take it over. So that turns them from what they originally were intended to be, sport hunters, into political activists, I guess. Which goes into kind of the standard trope that every single alien movie in history uses, where aliens want to take over the damn world. So essentially it turns them from hunters to assholes. Now the reason this super predator was chasing the regular predator was the regular one, like I mentioned before, had a special gift for mankind because it turns out he had human DNA in his system. As they analyzed this guy on the table in the beginning of the movie, they found human DNA spliced with his DNA, so I guess he had a little soft spot for us pathetic humans. Now as far as the super predator goes, he was a lot bigger, he was like 11, 12 foot tall, he looked pretty damn cool, but he didn't have to wear a mask, he didn't have to wear armor, because he had all this DNA and other technology within his body from all these different species apparently, where he had this like internal exoskeleton, which I think is just a regular skeleton. So the point I'm making here is that he just had his regular face showing. He didn't really have any armor on. He did have the classic predator look with the dreadlocks and all that. But the point being here is that it takes away from the technology that the predators use themselves. So now they want to become cyborgs or whatever. And it takes away from everything we saw in the previous movies where they have these cool ass masks. They have these cool ass weapons on their shoulders. They have this cool ass armor. And of course they have a nuclear bomb, a self-destruct button on their fucking wrists. So the point being is that this super predator, the way he looks, kind of takes away from the original characters and what we really enjoyed about their technology. And of course in Predator 2, we learned that they could see in different spectrums of light as opposed to just thermal vision. And that goes along with their technology, especially the helmets they wear. But now all that's just internal because they've used this DNA and some kind of technology to have all this internal, even an exoskeleton, so to speak. So they're kind of like the fucking Borg. And let's get back to this regular predator for a moment. He was being held in a laboratory. He was on a table strapped down with what looked to be a giant metal band, but apparently it was just a bungee cord. He was sedated. All of a sudden he woke up. He gets up and he slaughters everyone in the room, but he's supposed to be the good guy saving humanity. Now I guess you could say he was being held down, he had a mission to accomplish, so he had to slaughter a few people to save the entire planet, so I'll give him that. And that was actually one of the best scenes in the movie as far as the action goes because he did kill a lot of people, but it wasn't the standard Predator style where he's hunting everybody. And then of course as far as the story goes, you have this ragtag group of ex-military people who are all going to this facility and we don't even know why. Our main character was an ex-military sniper. He actually saw in action a Predator ship crash. And of course they wanted to deem him as crazy to help cover it up. And he's put on the bus with the rest of the whole motley crew there. And they're shipped off to this secret facility where the Predator is being held. While they take a bunch of people deemed to be crazy in the military to a secret facility, possibly just going to kill them. And then of course when the Predator killed everyone and escaped, except for Olivia Munn, because she was naked and going out of a decontamination chamber. That's the only way to get out of the room apparently. And then after killing every single person in the room almost, he then escapes, leaves her alone, and goes on about his business to save humanity apparently with this special gift that he ejected from his ship in the beginning of the movie. And you were waiting to find out what the hell this was they were looking for. And what was it? What did it turn out to be? A fucking wristband. That's right, some kind of a bracer to put on somebody's arm, which just ended up being a Tony Stark style Predator suit, where you put on the bracer and it turns into a whole entire Predator suit over the person who's wearing it, which looks pretty cool, but you're telling me that's what's supposed to save humanity from these super predators when the regular Predator, who knew how to use all that shit, couldn't beat him in the first place. It don't even make no damn sense whatsoever. The whole entire story doesn't make any damn sense as far as what we've learned about Predators from the previous movies, and it doesn't make sense for the entire plot of this damn movie to be based on a wristband. So yes, it is a cool little toy with all the gadgets I was talking about before that we missed in this one as far as the Super Predator goes. But the scientist who accidentally put it on, he didn't know how to use that shit. He did not even know how to use the damn thing. So who the hell is going to put that suit on and fight all these super predators coming, since it's all about global warming and it's all about taking our DNA and they're waiting on our planet to heat up so they can move in and take over, because I guess on their own home world they're running out of room. So in my opinion, this entire movie's plot was dumb. The story was dumb. Yes, it had some good action. It had some good visual effects. I did enjoy those aspects. So again, if you do like that type of thing, you might enjoy the movie. You might be entertained by the movie. So I would say it's entertaining. I'm not trying to shit on it by any means, but at the same time I am, because it's taking everything we've learned and come to love about the Predator franchise and flipped it on its head and turned them from sport hunters who actually respect their prey to just a bunch of assholes who want to take over the planet like every other alien movie in existence. So anyway, I don't really do rating scales like on a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 5 or whatever, but if I did have to give this movie a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a D. Again, it is slightly entertaining. It does have some great moments. I do think they tried to overuse a few of the classic lines like, "Get to the chopper," you know, that type of thing, except they changed some things around. So they overused that a little bit, but you expect that from Shane Black being in the original. You want a few throwbacks like that, so some of those were cool. But again, the entire story and plot is what I have a problem with these super predators now turning on the regular predators. But that tells us that the entire predator race, which we learn to respect a lot, especially in AVP, the predator actually helped her defeat the xenomorph queen, the alien queen, gave her a shield and a spear, even marked her face and all that good stuff because he respected her as a warrior. And now that's been taken away because they just want to take over our damn planet, so they don't have respect for us anymore. And we're going to kill ourselves, so it became kind of a political thing, I guess, which is getting into everything these days, which I absolutely can't stand. I just want to go see a good movie with good characters. I don't care about your damn political agenda. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you somewhere in the middle? It's okay to love the movie. Again, it had some good parts, but it's also okay to disagree with something you come to love, kind of like Star Wars The Last Jedi. Anyway, guys, as usual, thank you for all the support, especially to you guys on Patreon, and a huge shout out to my executive Patreon SmokeScreen producers, and thank you to everyone on YouTube as well. And if you dig what I do here, please give these videos a like, comment, and a share, and be sure to subscribe to get everything, and be sure to click that notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.